Hello everybody. I thought today we would do a Q&A video with the barn cats. Why not? I'm home, so we might as well do it. But first, we gotta give them some food. Okay. Alright, come on. Here's some food. Here you go, girls. Alright. This is what we keep the food in, because even though we've got the food in one of those screw top. I'm gonna move you guys today. Can you come over here? In one of those screw top pet canisters. Goodness. The raccoons still get into it. Alright, I'm gonna sit right here. So they're gonna eat their breakfast cautiously because they can't figure out what the heck we're doing. And let me look up. Let me get out our questions. What do you think, girls? I think this is highly suspicious about where my food is. It's cold, but it's not horrible cold out here this morning. I think it's gonna get really cold next week. So, let's go right into our questions here. First one I got is, does Milo sleep all night, and where does she sleep? She does not sleep all night, just like most cats. And she starts out, well, I can't say this for, a lot of times she starts out in her bed up front, and then she moves back to sleep on me for a while. And then usually by morning, she's back up front, but not always. Sometimes we do that the opposite way. So she's got a couple of beds and me. And no, she didn't sleep all night. But generally, we don't get the zoomies in the middle of the night or anything. She just moves back and forth. Occasionally, she thinks I need to get up very, very early, and she starts nipping at my hands. And so like I've said in a couple of videos, she starts nipping at me, trying to get me to get up. I just put my arms under the blanket. Then she gives up and goes somewhere else. So she's not a nuisance at night normally. Let's see. Is Milo the only cat I have taken with me? Yes. I've been driving for about 9 or 10 years now. I think it's 9. We're working on 10. And Milo started riding with me about 2 to 3 years ago. It's really hard to keep track of stuff like that. And I never thought of really too much about taking a pet with me before. We didn't really have any pets until we got Milo. And I said Milo started riding with me because she decided she wanted to ride with me. She got in the truck one time when I was home, and I didn't know she was in there, and we got away from the house about an hour, and she was sleeping on the pillows in the back and then meowed at me. And at that point, I'm like, well, I'm not taking you home. So we stopped at a Walmart and got all her stuff, and she's been riding with me ever since. Did Milo adjust to riding in the truck immediately, or did it take some time? She settled in pretty fast. We at first, because I wasn't sure how she'd behave, we did a couple of different things. First thing we did is she had one of those pet seats that you can get, pet car seats, you know, that little basket type thing that hangs off the Soot. Soot thinks this is weird. You're okay, Soot. Here, baby. Oh, no, I shouldn't have moved. She thinks I'm gonna get her. Cinder's not going anywhere. It's okay, Soot, you can come back. Oh well. Anyway, the first thing I did is I got one of those pet seats, car seats that it's like a little basket kind of thing that hangs in the back of the seat, and it's got a leash clip. It's really for small dogs. But we did that at first, and she wore a harness, and I clipped her in because I wanted to make sure she stayed put. Didn't know what she was gonna do exactly. And she didn't. She settled into that just fine and didn't have any trouble with it at all. And then I started leaving her loose, but I had to teach her not to get in front of me on the dashboard or under my feet or up on the back of my seat above my head. I was afraid that if she was on the seat above my head, if I had to stop fast, she would come off and land on my head with claws. So I didn't want her up there. And for her safety too, but really I was thinking mostly I didn't want claws in my head. So I had a squirt bottle. I only had to squirt her a couple of times. So if she started getting somewhere I didn't want her, I'd give her a quick squirt and she'd run the other way. And then after a while, all I had to do was touch the bottle. And then all I had to do was say no. And now she just knows not to go up there anymore. So that was the only adjustment we had to make, was to teach her not to be in those 3 places. But she adjusted really well, and I guess it's just her personality, because I know a lot of cats wouldn't do that. Well, these guys wouldn't even do good in a house, much less in a truck. But I know plenty of house cats that a truck would not be a good environment for them. She just happened to have the right personality for it. And how did I get into trucking? I think I've answered this one maybe on another video, but it was kind of a financial reason. And I had previously driven school buses, so I was not afraid of driving a large vehicle. Just a little bit more learning and another step up in my license. My kids were all mostly grown. My youngest one was in junior high, so the other 2, one was out of high school, one was just getting ready to graduate high school. And I needed a job that paid more. So that was the main reason. But I'm glad that we did it, because it's are you done? Oh, you don't need to get that camera. I'm glad we did it, because it was probably about the best financial reason we could do it. I think I'm being deserted now. These cats can't figure out what I'm doing. They haven't ever heard me talk to myself this much before. Yep. They're leaving. They're done. They're leaving. They both went opposite directions. That's okay. We're almost done. And somebody asked, curious about my truck, what year is my truck? What model, or what kind of truck I have? A little bit about it. I have a 2022 Kenworth T680 manual, and it's a 10-speed manual. Pretty straightforward there. I've always driven manuals. I know everybody's going to automatics, but I didn't want one. And the last one, which I don't really have a good answer for, but we're gonna give it a shot, is what is Milo's favorite place to go? I don't know if Milo has a favorite. Well, I guess from Milo's perspective, the favorite place that she likes to go, maybe not a particular place, but is down south. There's more birds. Because that's her favorite thing to do, is watch birds. And so we can pretty much go down south any time of year, and there's going to be plenty of little grackles and starlings and sparrows and things like that for her to sit and watch while we're parked. So I'd have to say anywhere south, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, those places have the best bird watching, I think, for her. And I don't really have a particular place I like better to go either. I don't like it in the wintertime, but I like going north. Seems like the traffic's better up north. I really like South Dakota and Minnesota. So they're pretty for on their own ways. I like going around the Black Hills. I think it's gorgeous. It's like my favorite place to vacation, aside from the beach. I get, the beach. If I have time to stop, my absolute favorite place to go is Florida. Well, since the cats have deserted us, and I have finished my questions, or the question and answers, I think we're gonna call it done for this video. You guys send me some more questions if you'd like, and we will do this again next month. I record these usually the last Friday of the month, and they air the first Friday of the month. Okay, so you guys all have a great day. I hope you had a great Christmas and a great New Year's, and we are back on the road for the videos next week.